All right, check this out. We have got Brad's 2021 Gladiator here. This is a bone stock, fresh off the dealer lot Gladiator Sport that has the max tow package. So this one has the Dana 44s front and rear with the 410 gearing. So we're just gonna give you a quick rundown of what a typical Overland style build entails. So let's get this thing inside and take a look. Okay, so we've got the Gladiator in the shop, and our first order of business is going to be the running boards. So we're gonna get rid of these and throw on a set of takeoff Rubicon rails that we have here in stock. All right, so we've swapped out those factory steps for some factory Rubicon rails. These are takeoffs. A customer picked them up for $150. They fit bolt on real quick, great results fast. So our next step is we're gonna pop these tires and wheels off and pull the sensors out. So we've already let the air out of the tires, and on the back side of the valve stem, the tire pressure monitor sensor bolts on. So we're gonna break down the front side of the tire, pull those sensors out, inflate the tires back, and then let the customer put these on Marketplace or Craigslist. Probably worth anywhere between $600 to $1,000. They've only got about 100 miles on them. So in this Overland Gladiator build, the customer has picked this 17-inch gun black Armory from Black Rhino wheels. And that is a 5-lug wheel. It just looks sort of 8-luggish because of the center cap. And then the tires he has picked, partly by availability, but it's also a great tire. Cost effective for a 37-inch mud terrain. Relatively quiet. It's the Yokohama G003 M G003 in a 37-12-50-17. So we've got 4 of those. He's just going to run the factory spare for now. And so as you can see, we've got the new valve stem in, and we've transferred our tire pressure monitor sensor over. So now we're just going to get this tire mounted up and get it balanced. All right, we've set up our weights to where they're going to be on this inside rim edge and back here on the back side of the wheel, which means there will be nothing on the front face of the wheel, so it's going to look nice and clean. So we've got this set up, so we're going to check the road force and the balance of this tire. All right, so you can see here the results of this. This is your road force number down here. So pretty much on a truck tire, anything below 40 pounds is considered acceptable. This one's a 37-inch tire. It comes in at 30. And it looks like we're going to need a total of 6 ounces to balance. Not terrible, not great either, but let's get this thing balanced. Good to go. All right, so we're ready to get the lift kit stuff started on Brad's JT Overland build. Let's go over what we picked out for his. All right, so the lift kit and suspension for this build, we decided to go with the Gamechanger kit from Metalcloak. So this pretty much replaces just about everything on the suspension. There's not much that's left. I can't think of anything left. But anyway, what you get here, starting from the top, you get a front track bar, rear track bar, rear upper arms, front upper arms, rear lower arms, front lower arms, rear brake hose kit, extended rear sway bar links, sway bar disconnect kit, front outboard shock brackets, rear bump stops, front springs, and rear springs. And then hiding over here is a set of rock crawler coil correction lower spring seats. Now here's a view of the sway bar links. So as you can see right here, these are extended rear sway bar links, and these are the front disconnects. Now, if you have a Rubicon model, you will get 2 pair of the extended sway bar links because you do not need your sway bar links to disconnect because you have electronic sway bar. So that electronic sway bar disconnects, and you don't have to worry about these 2 pins and storing this bushing end on that little post on the axle. Now, on the JLJT, the front axle has been kind of changed around, so the passenger side front bushing is captured on the bracket. So what we have to do is we have to put this bracket in the passenger side. That way this shorter link fits on the passenger side so that bracket doesn't get captured anymore, and you can allows you to put that pin in that top hole so the shorter link can slide off. And then of course the longer link will be for the driver's side. So what we have here is the Falcon 2.1 SP2 shock. So this one has a couple of mode adjusts. So you can adjust it for soft, cold, like a really soft, cushy ride, or a performance for either hot weather or bombing through the desert. All right, so we've got the rear suspension mostly in with the exception of the springs. Track bar, brake lines, control arms, and shocks. And what we've done is we've bolted the shocks up completely just to dry cycle the suspension to check for tire clearance. So back here, we've done this at full bump, and we've got about a 1/4 inch gap between the tire and the fender. And then what we do here is measure between the bounce pad and the top of the bump stop, because this foam piece will almost completely suck up into this cup at full bump. And this measurement is 3 1/4 inches. So what we'll do is we'll put 3 inches of bump stop of the 4 inches included in the kit, and that will allow us to get the most travel without the tire rubbing. The outboard shock mounts are on just temporarily, just kind of held up in place with the shocks. So what we've found here is coming out here on the tire clearance at the fender, we've got probably about 3/8 of an inch here, but when we turn the tire, if we go much more than that, it closes up this 1/4 inch gap. So he could eventually do the American Adventure Lab Highline fender kit and get rid of this plastic bracket and this, and it'll have 1 more inch of up travel by removing 1 inch of bump stop. So with the clearance we have here and here, we come back down to the bottom side, and this distance from this bump pad to this bump stop when it's collapsed is right at 4 1/4 inches. So we're gonna put all 4 inches of bump stop in there. But just to show you, even with that, we still have 1.5 inches of shock travel available. So if he does the high clearance fender package, we can remove 1 inch of bump stop and maximize the travel in this application. All right, so we've put the Gladiator up on the alignment rack, And you can see right here, we've got good camber and good caster. That's with the adjustable Metalcloak arms. And this is a factory Jeep with only 100 miles on it. It's a little bit towed out, so we're going to adjust the tow and take it for a spin. All right, so we've got the tow adjusted. Everything's good. We got 5 degrees of caster. This thing should drive like a dream. Our last addition is going to be the Knoxville Driveline 1350 front drive shaft. The yoke on the transfer case gets replaced with this half-round CV yoke. All right, so Brad's JT Gladiator is ready to be picked up. This thing has got some awesome parts on it. Yokohama tires, Black Rhino wheels, Falcon shocks, Metalcloak Gamechanger suspension. And as you saw there on that last install, we did the Knoxville Driveline 1350 front drive shaft.